Hi, I'm Kevin Kozlowski, Vice President of XTec. XTec is a premier provider of identity and authentication solutions. Today, we're going to be talking to you about the value of utilizing the cryptographic functions of a smart card. Many times, people try to utilize a smart card without the security functions. Doing so allows for counterfeits to enter into an organization. So what we want to show you here today is how those counterfeits can be utilized and how we prevent that from happening in our system. The first card we'll be showing you is showing how the authentication fails. What that means is that the smart card has a private key and a public key that do not match. The second card we'll be showing you is the path validation does not succeed. What that means is a card has a public and private key that matches, but they came from an untrusted source. And then the third card is a genuine card. Here we have 3 smart cards. While they all 3 look genuine, only one of them is actually a legitimate card. We're going to demonstrate to you how to detect the counterfeits from the genuine card. We're going to start with the first card. We're going to insert it into the reader. We're going to read the card. And as you'll see, the process is going to do an authentication of that card. We're going to enter in our PIN. Now the card is being given a challenge. During that process, it's reading the card and it's trying to do an authentication. In this particular instance, this card does not have a private key and a public key that match. Therefore, authentication failed. Here is the second card. We're going to try this card to see if it is also genuine or a counterfeit. Again, we're going to take the card, put it in the reader. We now enter our PIN to validate that the person who possesses the card is the correct person. The next thing is the system is sending a challenge to that card to see if it's a genuine card, if it can authenticate the private key to the public key, which it did, it passed. Now we're looking to see, is it a trusted source? Did this come from a trusted source? It did not. This happens to be a card that, say, I created in my garage. It's a valid private key and public key, but it comes from an untrusted source. Even though the biometric matched, even though other functionality, it is a counterfeit card. Okay, now we'll use our third and final card to detect if that is a counterfeit or if it is genuine. Again, we'll take the card, insert it into the reader. Now we're entering the PIN to verify that the individual who possesses the card is the correct person. Once we do that, the card is being read, and we're going to do first the authentication, then second the path validation, and then also check the status to make sure the card has not been revoked. As you can see, authentication has passed, path validation passed, and the active status. Now we're also going to validate the person's fingerprint to ensure that it is again a genuine person who possesses the card, and there you have a genuine card. Now, let's see what happens when you try to use a counterfeit card in a physical access control application that checks for authentication. As the counterfeit will put the card in, they'll enter the PIN, which will match the person since it is their counterfeit card. You'll notice they'll put their biometric in. It will also match, again, because it's their counterfeit card, but the system will identify it as not a card issued by the system. Next, we're going to put in the genuine card. Same process, the person will enter their PIN to validate their identity, which will give them access to the biometric to validate. And as you see, access granted because the card is genuine and the person has permissions. So as you can see from the demo, it's critical to authenticate the smart card for every transaction. It doesn't take any extra time and it gives you the true security you need. For more information, please check us out on our website at XTec.com. Thank you.